So let's look at the forgotten Telecaster. A guitar lost for the past 30 years, but now it's back. I can't wait to share it with you. The TE Custom is Hohner's own version of the Fender Telecaster. It's got some nice quality of life features and famous names involved, including PRINZ. And the headstock, well, it looks very different to what you've seen before, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I've done my utmost to get the details about the guitars as accurate as I can, but if you know more, please say in the comments. I will link to the various sources I use for the video in the description. One thing is very true of these guitars, they do sound authentically like Telecasters. I've got a sound demo for you at the end, so hang in there if you're desperate to hear what it sounds like. This particular TE Custom is actually the Mark II version of this guitar I found after 30 years in storage. There were 3 marks in total, and they started being produced in the late 80s, since 1988 to be exact. And Hohner even produced a variation of their Telecaster design, which was endorsed by PRINZ. That version was called the PRINZ, P-R-I-N-Z, and kept the original version of the Fender style headstock. And I have actually seen that Harley-Benton have got their own version of that particular guitar right now, and I'll link to that in the description as well. Hohner originally built the TE line as an alternative to the Fender Telecaster. They were made by Corten Korea and branded Hohner, but Leo Fender was none too happy, as the headstock was pretty much exactly the same as his own design and infringed Fender's copyright. So they produced the Mark I up until about 1990. The Mark II was then produced from about 1992 with major revisions to the headstock under the supervision of Alan Entwhistle. Yes, the same man of Entwhistle pickups. So these guitars do have some pedigree. To avoid the copyright problems, we ended up with a kind of hook nose Ibanez-esque headstock. It's actually kind of cool and gives the guitar a speedier vibe than its Fender cousin. Later came the Mark III, and then sadly Hohner stopped producing guitars altogether in the mid-90s to focus on harmonicas and accordions, and that continues to be the focus of their business today. So on to the specifics of the guitar itself. The hardware is actually a very good standard, much higher than I thought. I was pretty surprised. I bought this guitar back in the early 90s. No real internet, you just had to hope for the best as a beginner. But it does weigh a lot, likely thanks to the Californian maple body. The one here is actually 4.1 kilograms, so if you're going to play this at a gig or standing up, get a heavy duty strap. It has that classic kind of spangly twang of a Telecaster. So it does sound absolutely authentic and has great sustain. It's fun to play, but it doesn't feel like a Fender. It's closer to a Les Paul, coming in at 43mm rather than the more common 42mm of a traditional Fender. Having said that, the neck, which is made of Canadian maple with a rosewood fingerboard, is actually quite slim. It's a slim C with a glossy neck, but it's not a sticky neck and has a nice skunk stripe. It feels very nice to play up and down. I've measured the thickness and it's 21mm at the first fret and 22mm at the 12th. The radius of the fretboard is more like 12 inches over the usual Fender 9.5 inches, so it does feel flatter than a Fender and is perhaps a tad easier to get rid of fret buzz and intonate as a result. So, it has 2 single coil pickups, the one at the neck being a covered one. It has the usual volume and tone knobs and a 3-way switch for the pickups, as well as 2 round flat string trees. You can see in the footage of the guitar that this one does have a bit of work that needs to be done here and there, but the fundamental neck and body are in good shape with no structural cracking at the neck pocket. It has a normal truss rod at the headstock end of the guitar. It also has a tilt adjuster at the neck plate, which makes it much easier to adjust the action of the neck exactly how you want it. It has 21 nickel silver frets and chrome hardware. The bottom line is, it's a very, very nice guitar to play. So let's have a listen to the guitar in action.